You're listening to Ignite Your Success, a podcast that inspires fitness professionals to build a strong business that enables them to serve more people and engineer the lifestyle they desire. It's Brad Shepherd here, and together with Jason Ubanowicz, we're best known for running Trainer HQ, a community of passionate and profit-hungry fitness business owners that make a massive difference in others' lives every day. Each episode will unpack for you exactly what's working and deliver best practice strategies so you can confidently grow your business and make a huge impact.
Here we are with another Trainer HQ edition of a Success podcast, and it's an opportunity for us to interview those people we've got a good connection with and those who have what I consider to become high performers in the industry. So it's with great pleasure that we've got Mr. Rhys Brooks on the podcast today. So welcome, mate.
Thank you, mate. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Been a little while, actually. Way before COVID even as well, but mate, great to reconnect.
Yeah, I think I worked with you guys back in, it must have been 2016, I believe, when I was growing my team.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, and you were at Fitness First at Bond Street at that time.
Yep.
And,
So I'm actually still there a couple of days a week.
Yeah, well, you gone back, haven't you, just recently?
Yeah, after COVID.
Yeah. Well, look, mate, what I want to do is just give people a bit of an insight to yourself. And for you, when and why and how did you decide that the fitness industry was for you? Like, how did that journey start?
Well, basically, I went through my own lifestyle transformation. I was 121 kilos, way out of shape. I never lifted a weight in my life. Was in a considerable amount of pain, emotional pain. Hated myself, basically. Got introduced to the gym by an ex-girlfriend of mine and just got stuck into it. Loved it. Ended up dropping 40 kilos and realizing this was the path that I wanted to go on. So I enrolled in a sports science degree at UTS Sydney. And I did that over 3 years. And at the same time, I enrolled in my PT certificate and finished that in, I think it would have been 2004. And in 2005, I flew to London and started work as a personal trainer in London and did 10 years there.
Well, incredible. Hey, 2004. Well,
yeah.
Like, I was thinking about it today going, would have been at least 20 years, I was guessing.
20 years this year. Yeah.
And you said ex-girlfriend, mate. Is that because you got jacked and you pissed her off? Is that what happened? Or
that's 100% right, man. Unfortunately, it was.
Babe, you were out of here.
She got me into it, but as we were just saying before you started recording, that when I go after something, I sort of go after it with some intensity and passion, and I did that with health and fitness because it was amazing the changes that I saw in myself, and I was loving it. And she just didn't attack it with the same sort of intensity, and didn't get the results, and then sort of kind of left her behind, so to speak. And we just were on different wavelengths then. Like I just wasn't a completely different wavelength.
Yeah, that's great. I was actually joking. That was legit.
No, that was legit. And it's actually happened.
What happens?
It happens,
right?
man. I was going to say it's happened to a few clients of mine. Like they've been in relationships where they've been operating at this level and their partner's there, and then they sort of rise up and everything about them changes when they go through these transformations. And unfortunately, the partner gets flicked.
Yeah, well, I think what happens is that they rather try to pull you back down because they feel uncomfortable, and they go like, well, shit, maybe I'm going to do something, or they leave.
Yeah, 100% insecurity kicks in, yeah.
So, mate, over that time, it's a wealth of knowledge, 20 years. I guess when you like from starting out to where you are now? It's a long time, right?
Yeah, man.
But for someone who's listening to this, and they might have been in the game for just as long while they're starting out. What did you notice about as you entered the industry? More, I guess you've done a lot of technical training, but what did you notice about what it actually takes to grow a business? So what were some of the things that I guess surprised you, or you weren't ready for, or they challenged you?
I guess one of the things that I wasn't ready for is the level of sort of marketing, prospecting, and putting yourself out there and sales component to having a successful personal training business. Just because you're a good trainer and got a good rig doesn't mean the crowds will come flocking to you. You've got to sell yourself. So I invested quite a bit of time, particularly with you guys. That's when I first sort of delved into the whole sales and marketing side of things and realized the importance of that. So that was one thing. I guess as well, as a fitness professional, someone who loves fitness, I kind of had to understand that these people that are coming to see you, most of them aren't on the same wavelength. The general population, they're not as motivated. They don't want a six pack and to look shredded. They just want to feel a little bit better about themselves, basically.
Yeah, I can remember that clearly. You saying that, being like 24, right at my training, coming out of bodybuilding shows, and I just couldn't get guys who were 40 and 50 going, Jace, to be honest, as long as I don't get any fatter, I'm sweet. And I was like, what the fuck, like wasting my time for. But here I am now, 50 this year, and I understand a lot better.
100%. I'm 45 this year, and I'm exactly the same.
Yeah,
so especially when kids come into the equation, it changes things as well.
Yeah, and I've seen some of your stuff recently talking about that, because that's one of your main niches right now. Is that correct?
100%. That's I started off with a niche of sort of 30 to sort of 40-year-old guys, more so single guys that are a bit out of shape, lost their way. But as we've gone with this online sort of project, we've realized that I'm gravitating more towards dads, because I've got kids, I'm a dad, and they're relating to me a lot more. So we've sort of changed the niche to dads.
Yeah, and I mean, that's helping you with your messaging and your marketing. Does it make life a bit easier to get that stuff?
It seems to be. Most of the guys that are on my program at the moment are dads. And when you ask them, why did you join the course? What was it about me that you resonated with? It was, you're a dad, man. You're in the same position as us. You're juggling business, you're juggling life, you're juggling kids.
Yeah. So in your opinion, if you're, say, like a generalist, you're a PT guy, help anybody, anytime, anywhere, versus like I actually know who I want to help.
Yeah.
Because I've got some experience to help them. How do you, I mean, this is more feedback for other trainers watching this. How do you feel that is different than just being a, generalist for everybody?
I think it's a hard one. Depends on where you are. It depends if you're in a big sort of commercial gym, it can be hard to niche.
Yep.
To a degree. It has to be a very busy commercial gym. But if you're online, then I would suggest that you niche, because it makes your job a lot easier, because you can choose your marketing, your wording, your photos, everything you do, you can target to that niche. And, when they're going through their social media and they're scrolling and they're looking through the ads, those words will stand out to them, and their ears will prick up straight away and be like, I think he's talking to me. And you want that. You want them to think, fuck, hold on, that's me. And then they'll, explore further.
Yeah, it's good. A good couple of points. So again, if you are in a commercial gym, like, again, people probably will identify that you help, or you've got a certain style of client, because they'll see, right? They'll see who you're training anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
But online, you're right. If you're not entering the conversation that are in your particular ideal client, it can be tough, right? To go, well, why would I go and pay? You're $80 a week, he's 100, but you're both saying the same thing.
Yeah,
there's no real point of difference, is what you're saying online.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just thinking back to my gym experience at Bond Street Fitness First, which is a very big commercial gym. I think we get about 10,000 swipes.
It's huge
per week. It's massive. You've been there. When I first started, I would train anyone, mums, dads, young guys, old guys. But now I I only train males.
Yep.
And they're more of a sort of, I guess, 30. Most of them are 30 to 45 and performance based. Trying to sort of get that six pack look.
And do you find that even though you're at the gym, because, social media is so popular now, like even when we first, met, Instagram wasn't around, Facebook was, but do you find people are actually, seeking you and they're watching your stuff online, even though they're in the gym?
There's a few guys, not many. I don't have many guys come up to me and say, oh, they've seen me. I mean, I get a few, but it's not regular by any means.
Yeah. And if you do talk to someone in the gym though, do you direct them to your stuff?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, for sure. So follow me on social media, get heaps of, free info out in there.
Yeah.
And
just my point being there is, some people think also that if you're at the gym, there's no need for that, but still I might meet you in the gym and you're not ready to train with me yet, but I want to, I guess, warm you up and get you some knowledge.
Oh, 100%. It's a great idea. And I guess, because I've got full books at the moment, I can't fit anyone in, so I don't sort of go out of my way to sort of advertise myself.
It's a good problem to
have. Yeah. But if I was, someone getting into the industry, or, needed to build my numbers up, 100%, I would be, sharing my Instagram details with everyone I could, and then telling my stories on Instagram, so people can sort of buy into your philosophies, see who you are, get to know you as a person. I think that's what a lot of it's about these days, is seeing the real you.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, how do you get that across?
Yeah, because people, they'll see that I'm a dad, I might struggle with things. I'm pretty open with my stuff on social media because you just want to come across as a real person, not some gym buff that's, all protein and whatever, muscles.
Gym bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Mate,
It's very intimidating for people, right?
oh, mate, you even share getting fucking carpet snakes or pythons out of your mate's barbecue.
You
or
saw
whatever.
that one. You saw that one.
And this is my point, right? What did I remember? Like, you've done a heap of training videos, but what stuck with me, you're at, I mean, a lot of your videos, but there's that one, right? Where
Yeah.
remember getting the snakes out of the barbie,
Yeah.
going down the water slide, slip and slide, your daughters,
Yeah,
your kids,
yeah.
So I get to see, okay, well, this is the guy when he's not getting people in shape. This is who he is. That's what you're referring to.
Exactly. It's the real me. Like,
yeah.
He just does the same sort of stuff that I would do.
Yeah, and so it's more relatable.
Yeah, for sure. But I think at the same time, you have all that, but you've also got to, in our positions as fit pros, you've got to make yourself a bit inspirational. You've got to, paint the dream. So you've also got to paint this picture that you're living an amazing life because you're into health and fitness, and it's the health and fitness that's got you this amazing life. So people will then see that and think, fuck, I want to live like this guy,
Yeah, that's right. It's got to be something in it for them, what am I going to do with this change?
Yeah.
So you built up your face-to-face, like, long time in the industry. So, time, there's no beating experience and time in any industry or any endeavor, right?
Yeah.
You've obviously made the change to go into online. When we met, it was just you were doing more the face-to-face. What was it? Was it COVID that prompted that, or was it you were going on that path prior to that?
Oh, I'd been thinking about it, but it was COVID that prompted it. I'd been thinking about it, and I'd had a few mates that had done it, and they started to do really well. And they got in just at the right time, just before that COVID hit. And I was a bit late to the party, but that was basically it. It was COVID, and I'd been thinking for a long time because I had the guys working for me as the team, and I'd had run that for about 3 years, and then I sort of wound things down just when COVID hit.
Yeah,
and I thought, I've got to leverage my time. How can I serve many people but minimize the amount of time that it takes? And online just seemed to be the obvious answer.
Yeah. So for those who are, I guess I'll say it this way, what do you see as some of maybe the false beliefs or misconceptions about, I'm a trainer, I want to go online.
Yeah.
What have you seen, heard, noticed about what it takes, I guess, to get online?
Yeah, well, it's definitely not the laptop lifestyle. Like, it's not sort of like you can just sort of pick a country and kick back and write
Pina coladas.
Yeah, exactly. I'm working more now than I have ever. Every sort of waking moment is this or training my one-on-one clients. It's really hard. Like, it is a tough cookie to crack. So I think, that was one of the big misconceptions that, everyone's doing a big money to be made, and there is big money to be made. But you've got to be persistent, and you've got to hang in there, and you've got to keep refining your message, and you've got to have some resilience and grit. Because the amount of knockbacks you get, the amount of I've got up 3 times now from 3 different failed launches. And this new year, basically I've been trying for probably 2 and a bit years. And this is like the first time that we've actually got some proper traction.
Yeah.
Which is scary. Like, and I'll be honest, I've made a lot of mistakes along the way, probably more so than the average person would. And being a perfectionist and spending too much time trying to create everything perfectly was one of my biggest flaws.
So a couple of key points, and for people listening to this, that I think is really important. I mean, what you described, in my opinion, the resilience, being able to get back up, is if you don't have those attributes, you shouldn't be in business anyway. Online or face-to-face, because people only ever sometimes see where you are now, but if they had to see what you had to go through,
oh dude, the amount of
get
work,
to where you are,
the work to set up this, you know what it's like, setting up funnels and building lists and all this videoing, and we built a massive course to start with. That's why it took us so long to get going. Very involved, videos, all that sort of stuff. And when you've created something and then you go to launch it and then you get 2 inquiries, it's soul destroying, absolutely soul destroying. But you can't stop, because there'll be a lot of people in the same situation that will stop.
Yes.
And if you realize that if you keep pushing through, you will eventually get there. I think you will get there.
Yeah. It's like of course, the way it gets marketed out there to become an online trainer with all the flashy cars, like if they actually played the reality videos
Yeah.
of what it would probably take. I mean, look, your experience could be different than the next guy. Like for whatever reason, I might just luck it. I might just, for whatever reason, I'll just luck it. I get the niche right. But very rarely it happens, right? So
yeah.
I mean, I look at us 17 years of running this company. We've done about 150 2-day seminars, travel around expos, teaching at Filex. You know, see other people come in and try to do what we do. They're just not prepared to do all that shit.
Yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard.
You know, they think I'll just come in, I'll coach some people in business. You know, I've read a few books, but I can tell you, I laugh because I go, I know what it's taken us to get to here.
Yep.
And it's not just the 17 years, it was the other 20 years prior I did to all the development and education and learning.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's a good message. And that's why I said to you, I wanted to get you on here to go like a real talk about what it actually takes. And if you're not up for it, you know, you're going to be bitterly disappointed if you think you're going to put out a couple of funnels and do some Facebook ads and all of a sudden you've got all these clients rolling in, you know.
Yeah, you got to be thick-skinned and just be prepared to work, put in some long hours and wear many hats. That's one of the things that I've struggled with the most, is wearing all the different hats.
So you mean like sales, marketing?
Yeah. So I've got my training, my one-on-one clients. So I'm managing them, writing them programs, keeping them sort of going. Then I guess there's the videography side of things. So, you know, doing all the filming, building the course as well. Then you got to build a course, have it to think about that. Then you got to video the whole thing. Then you got to edit the videos. So that's no easy feat, getting to learn Adobe Premiere. You know, if I had hair, I would have pulled it all
out. And your stuff's cool, man. Like I've said, I've commented many times, your stuff is cool. So you definitely spent the time and energy into it.
Yeah, exactly, man. And that took a crazy amount of time to learn how to do that. And then I guess you've got the sales and marketing side of things. You got the technology side of things as well. Like, you know, to automate some of these systems and get your Calendly booking links set up with this and that's, and the Zapier.
Zapier. Yeah.
You know, when you get a new joiner, it makes everything bang fires. It's it's hard.
And you were saying earlier, just to backtrack, I mean, actually one thing I want to talk to you about is that there's different models that people use for online. They do the weekly check-ins, but I heard you say program, and I'm big fan of selling a program that gets an end result. I know you've got your average to savage.
100%.
Is that the program you're talking about?
Yeah. That's the program, average to savage. So it's a 14-week body transformation package. And I structured it in a way where you sign up for 14 weeks. The first 2 weeks is actually learning. So there's nothing to do training wise.
Yeah.
We've got quite a comprehensive course that we deliver through an app called Kajabi, which you've probably online learning platform. So it's all videos and all written stuff. There's some downloadables in there as well. A lot of implementation tasks. So they learn about mindsets, the first chapter, the module. Then they go into energy balance. They learn all about energy balance, and they do an implementation task where they work out their own energy balance through a calorie calculator we have. And then the third module is all about nutrition. So it's very comprehensive: carbs, proteins, fats, all your macros, how to build your meals, eating out, takeaway, how to factor alcohol into the diet. It's like stupidly comprehensive. And then the fourth chapter is fourth module is training. And the fifth module is success hacks. So they digest all of that over 2 weeks. So they're ready to hit the ground running when their transformation starts.
Yeah, gotcha.
So they're prepped, right?
They're prepped.
And it works well. It works really well, because if you throw everything at them at the one time and they start, they're just going to be overwhelmed and they won't get any traction whatsoever.
Yeah. So you don't just wing it by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
You just go, there's your program, off you go.
Yeah. And then it's 12 weeks of training.
Yes.
You got 4 3-week programs, and there's 2 coaching calls per week, which are group coaching calls. So one to many, which allows me to leverage my time.
Yes.
So I'm not, And then I've got certain forms. They do like weekly check-ins, and I'll quickly have a look over those and make sure no one's struggling and they're seeing results. And then everything is programmed and monitored through Trainer Eyes, like their progress photos, their body measurements, which they all do, obviously, and their training programs.
Yeah, that's great. So very comprehensive. And I could see now why you said it took a while just to get it up.
I mean, the amount of videos we have in there, I mean, we've got everything, man. We've got, every single movement pattern tutorial, not just a video on how to do the exercise. We actually,
Yeah.
we've got, we talk them through how to do a deadlift and a bench press and get the setup and all that.
And because you've got the couple of one-to-many check-ins of the week, is that where you advise people, if you got any questions, save it for those check-ins? Is that how that happens?
Yeah, exactly. It's sort of like just to manage my time and to free up my time. So we'll jump on a call. One's tonight, 7:30. One's on a Sunday night at 7:30.
Yeah.
And the boys, anyone that needs to, it's not compulsory, but I like guys to be on there for that accountability factor.
Yeah.
We just have a check-in, see where everyone's at, what the progress is like, what they're struggling with. They may have some questions that I'll answer. And it's also just a good chat as well for all of a bunch of guys, like-minded guys, to have a chat about their progress, their wins, their struggles, that sort of stuff.
That's excellent. And you still obviously love the face-to-face as well. So you're running the hybrid. Is that going to continue, or is there plans to stop doing that at some point? Or
yeah, so it's a hard one. I haven't 100% worked it out. I'm definitely going to scale back because I want, if I'm going to scale the online stuff more, if things hopefully take off, then we'll pull back on the face-to-face. So I'll probably still keep 2 days at Bond Street, but just reduce my hours a bit. I mean, the thing is, I really like face-to-face. I love that element to training.
Yeah.
So I don't know, bro. I don't know if I'll fully pull back because, we'll see.
Yeah, because I find some people go like, oh, I'd probably neck myself if I was only doing online because I need the interaction and I like that part. And
100%.
People go, no, I can't stand humans in general, so I'm better.
No, I love my clients. I've got the best clients. It's a good bunch of guys that I train. I love that social interaction. But online is a bit lonely.
Yeah.
And
I'm assuming like now and probably for a long time, like your criteria anyway for who you work with, if I'm not meeting that standard, you're not going to train with me anyway, right? So gone are the days we're going, oh, here comes Gary. I'd rather throw myself off the building than train him. But $50 is $50,
Yeah, no, I've had a few that I've turned away over the last couple of weeks, and I just can't do it, man.
Yeah. Do you actually? This is your facility behind. Your own one. Do you train anybody there?
I only do about 10 hours of work out of here. Just a few early morning sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah, long-term clients, guys that live around the area.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, advice. Let's say say there's people coming in the industry and they're going like, I want to just go online because we get this quite a bit, but they've never done any face-to-face.
Oh, you got to do your time in the trenches.
Yeah. And so it's and this is my opinion as well. I say to people like, go online, but if you haven't trained someone physically at all as a PT, the use to somebody is going to be very limited. Queuing, there's so much stuff that goes on.
100%. Like I'm actually amazed now that I'm doing the online stuff, how involved and how much feedback and cues that you can give. Like I didn't think it'd be that interactive.
Yeah.
But it is. So all that sort of work that I've done on the gym floor definitely is a carryover to the online training component of it. I mean, all the videos I send through to my clients, the tutorials, about form, things where they, are doing wrong, things or where things can go wrong. It's all built into the program and delivered in a way that really helps the client out. So if you don't have that experience, it's going to be tough.
I mean, I do this as a plug because I've used you as a coach myself, and
of course,
I'd say if you're a new trainer or you're a trainer, it doesn't matter if you're new or you've been in the game for a while. I would definitely recommend someone going through your program just to see, really what a high quality service and experienced trainer looks like. Would be I've always been a big fan of that. So
no, for sure, 100%.
Yeah. The other part to it now, you said it's like sometimes it's actually more work, and we said there's a misconception about that. When it comes to charging, I find there's also, I don't know if it's people's limited belief or they feel like because now it's online it should be cheaper, where actually you're actually doing more work. When I've got a face-to-face client, you turn up, we've interacted, done the bit, see you next week. But online it can actually be more work. So your take on charging out your online services versus face-to-face?
Okay, so I guess in my situation, because I don't have a weekly individual check-in, I've gone a bit lower on the price point.
Well, that's a good point because the models are different, right?
Yeah. So I'll tell you what, mine's basically $100 a week.
Yeah.
And my face-to-face is $150.
Yes.
So because I'm dealing, one-to-many, I've sort of leveraged my time to some degree. But if I was doing weekly check-ins, and I know some guys at my work do this, they have a half-hour call with a client once a week, I'll definitely be keeping my prices the same.
Yeah, and that's always my advice. But I even hear that 100, right, for the one-to-many, great model. But again, people hearing this going, if you knew the work that Rhys has gone into doing this, the marketing, the sales funnels, the content, the programming, like people just pick a number. Oh, I'll just charge $50 a week. With no real strategy, no thinking behind it. So with the 14 weeks, sorry, you go.
No, I was just going to say, man, and that price, that's only this year. We'll look to, as soon as we get some more runs on the board and I build my clientele up, that price will increase.
Yes. There's only way it's going up with authority, with being a specialist, and that's.
Yeah, I mean, we want to get it to $2,000 pretty quick.
Yeah. Per week.
Per week, not per week. Per week for the $2,000 for the 14-week program.
Yeah. Oh, got you. Because at the moment, people do they pay? They pay for weekly, or they just pay?
It's either or. So they can pay up front. They get a $200 discount if they pay up front, or otherwise it's $100 a week.
Gotcha. And the 14 weeks, what happens after that finishes? Is there a continuing?
Yeah, for sure. So most of the guys that have started will go in my general preparation phase. So sort of like training them how to train.
Right.
And then once they finish that, they've got the chance to go onto a performance-based program. So hopefully, what do they call it? Continuity? Is that the word?
Yeah, continuity.
Yeah. So that's where they'll go. So we've got some modules in there about where to next. And then we have a call with them and discuss what their options are. And they might go into a strength training program, or they might go into a hypertrophy based program.
Again, another important part, anyone looking and listening to this or watching this going that, again, you're selling a solution, right? So the first 14 weeks, there's that first phase.
Yeah.
But then it's not the end of the road. So then it's like you've already thought about, well, what's next? And because you have got that niche, and you do know where they are, where they want to get to. The average to savage, right, sums it up. You're not going to be the savage in 14 weeks. You're on your way.
Exactly.
But then I love how you got the next part. And I'm assuming, is that something you talk about up front with them? Do you talk about the journey
Well, I've been asked that question a few times by the guys, and what happens after the 14 weeks, and I'll speak to them then, but I don't actually talk about it in the sales call. Or any of my conversations. Maybe I should.
I was curious, going, because maybe it may be too much for them to get their head around. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, exactly. I just wanted to get them to sign up for that first. I don't want to scare them off. But yeah, if anyone asks, man, that it's sort of no, for sure. We follow on. We keep the coaching going, and we just change the program into more performance based. You'll be stronger, better. You'll be moving really well, and that's when you get some even more results.
It's interesting because I, even back at the gym, and you'd be familiar with some of the trim and tone, the stuff I was doing 20 odd years ago. But that's how we used to sell it in. It's like the first 16 weeks, this is what's going to happen, month 1, month 2, all the way. So they knew. But then that's not the end of the road, because then they would go, back then we had just we called it the maintenance phase.
Yeah.
So you told me you put the weight on, lost it, put it on. Well, do you want to keep doing that, or do you want to keep it off this time? And they go, keep it. Or go, well, that's why we created the maintenance phase. So not much has changed, just the technology and how we deliver it.
Exactly.
Is different. So if you could go back to, kicking this off, I think you said 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's 2 and a bit. Yeah, but
two and a bit.
Call it three.
I guess now you've had this experience, which is highly valuable. Is there anything that you would go back and do differently? I guess if you had to repeat it. So
I think so. Yeah, I would have kept things simpler, like the actual program design, and it wouldn't have been as involved. So it wouldn't have taken so much time to get going. Because I think I missed out on a lot of opportunity in COVID. So basically, we launched and we were outside of that COVID period.
Right.
I wouldn't have been as perfect as well.
Yeah.
I would have just got some stuff out there. One thing that took a long time was to find the niche. I really sort of struggled there as to messaging who I wanted to deal with. So that changed a few times. I don't know if I could have sped that up though. I don't know if that was just, I had to make that sort of mistake and fumble and then learn from that.
I talk to people about it. Some people just come ready with the niche and other people don't. And I say that even to our guys who come on our program and go, I'm not really sure. I go, look, sometimes that's the thing. It takes the time.
Yeah, no, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. And I've had that myself, where you go, it might take some time, but then once you nail it,
Well,
you know,
that's it, right? And you know the messaging, you know the pains, you know all the problems with this specific niche, and you can just basically talk to them. But it takes time to, speak to that many people, to get their surveys in and their applications in, and yeah,
I sometimes think the longer you've been doing something for, and your skill set is broader, I actually think sometimes it's more challenging.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Where if you're a mum and you've had a couple of kids recently, put on weight, and all of a sudden your journey has inspired you to get the industry, well, sometimes it's obvious. And
Well, that's what my wife, exactly what my wife's done. She was a fit girl before she had kids, and basically didn't touch a gym for about 2 years, and struggled badly. And she was a real gym junkie before. So now the population that she services is mums.
they can relate the story,
Yeah,
experience.
she's been through it. She knows how
Yeah,
hard it is, the struggles.
yeah, mate. It's interesting. Hey, it's like, again, some people get it quickly, and the people got to take a bit of time to get the feedback and figure out.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm assuming that the niche that you have as well, I mean, the guys are settled in, they're in that stage of their life where, they're not out raving on a weekend, and, spending their money on drugs and alcohol. Well, they may be, but, but more importantly, at the
Most
stage
of them
of
are.
life.
Most of them are. There's maybe one or two guys that's still a bit loose. But most of them are dads.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, a lot of them are business owners.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why they gravitated towards me, but a lot of these guys run very successful businesses, which is good because they're switched on individuals, and they're dedicated.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably ask them, but I mean, what stands out for me is if you're a business owner, do you want to work with the mediocre,
Yeah,
online
true.
trainer, or do you want to work with a guy who clearly has the experience, knowledge, and goes that extra mile? Anyway, that's how I would view it.
Yeah, yeah.
So not the gym bro, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think so. I think for that age population, gym bros are no go.
Yeah, it's like,
And yeah, I try not to film with like stringer singlets on and all that sort of business. I don't think it does well for the brand.
But you have done a couple of Jono. Was it Jono, the gym bro trainer?
Johnny, yeah,
Johnny,
yeah.
yeah. We're going to train the guns. The plans for this year, the rest of this year, just keep improving,
Just
growing.
improving. We've got some numbers that we want to hit, and get more guys on the program, get better at our messaging and our sales and marketing. That's the bottleneck at the moment, man. Just not getting enough guys into the ecosystem. We're at 25 followers a day, roughly, on average.
Yeah, I remember you talking to me about this. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's in, the moment we've got like a community-based model. So we're not actually actively, we don't have any funnels running.
Yeah.
We basically have people come into the ecosystem through a follower ad. So we do have one ad running, but it's a follower ad. Hey, come follow me. I'll show you how I do this. Yeah. They join in. We message them. Then we have some conversations in the DMs, and then we try help them, and then try get them into a phone call with us. Yeah. And I'm finding with this population, with men, it's particularly hard. Like, I know some guys that do it with females, and it seems to be much easier. They're much more receptive to getting help. But guys, I don't know if it's the ego or they've got this like, I can do it myself sort of thing. I'm doing fine, I'm great. But then really they're not. It's like, mate, you're sitting there at 117 kilos, like,
yeah, you're doing real well.
Yeah, exactly. So I think where we're going to look next, which we've done before, and we had some all right success, but we'd be much better now. We'd be paid ads. Like paid ads and then a funnel.
And I like, because now hearing this, what you're saying, your messaging that I see and hear, you are addressing those issues that they, think what's going on. Like, there was one again. This is, well, at least I'm paying attention to your stuff.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
Because no one cares what you were benching 10 years ago.
Well, that's it, right?
Yeah. So that was the other one that stood out, and because I'm in that age group too, right? I'm in that age group, and I'm going, like, if I ever caught myself saying, I used to bench 140 back in the day, you're not now, mate. So
that's it. I get a lot of guys that sort of they tell me, I used to do this, I used to be that, I used to do that. I'm like, yeah, bro, but we're on this call now, and you're on the call for a reason. Like, where are you now, man? Who cares what you did back then?
Yeah, it's right. So I mean, look, let's be honest. There's that ego with guys, like
Yeah.
to become vulnerable and go, I actually do need help.
Yeah, yeah, and maybe that's why these business owners, why I've got a lot of business owners, is because they're just a little bit more open to help. They understand the benefits of coaching.
Yeah, I was going to say this is a good combo because you're probably starting to, it's, even more another level because I'm thinking that could be the next part of the niche, right?
I just saw that. Yeah.
It's good having
Yeah.
these chats because now it's clearly defining, well, where do they sit in the ecosystem, right? They're more business owners, people, and they've had help to get to where they are.
Yeah. They understand the benefits and all the upside of coaching, how it takes them to the next level.
Yeah, I agree. So so what you have been doing, and you said that you put the good quality content out there, you're matching it up with your niche market, their frustrations, pain points, and I think you're saying to me just when you're just boosting some of that content to get followers into your ecosystem, 25 a day, which is pretty good.
Yeah. 25 a day.
Cost would be reasonably minimal, I guess.
That's costing us $2 a follower.
So $2 a follower is pretty good.
Yeah.
Then out of those followers, you get to maybe have a conversation with, I don't know how many.
Oh, I've got the spreadsheet. I could tell you, I track it daily, but I think it's about 5 people from that 20 that you'll talk to.
So, it helps with your metrics. So that's the other part, data. You'll hear Rhys say he's got all that data. There's no guessing or hoping, not just boosting a post.
Yeah, you've got to track that shit daily.
Yeah.
To see where you're at. Yeah, man.
And now you're saying potentially the Facebook ads. So try some of the ads instead. And
exactly. Yeah. We still need to work definitely on the system we've got now, and try and just perfect the messaging and the wording and get more people into calls. I think we've still got some more work to do there, but the next step after that will be the Facebook ads.
Yeah, love it, man. It's good. It's I really appreciate your open, honesty, and sharing. Because again, if anyone's looking at this, is just I think what it's done is paint a reality of like what it actually takes. To do it. And if I have one more conversation with somebody, go, if I just did this and this and that, in 3 months, do you reckon I'll be making 10 grand? I go, well, who am I to say you can't? But I haven't seen it happen that often. So good luck with that.
yeah, man. No, it's hard. It's hard.
And while it's hard, what have you found has been the rewarding parts about it though so far? I'm not just talking money. I'm just saying, what have you found being rewarding?
Yeah, rewarding definitely has been, well, one, helping some guys and getting guys into the program and getting results and seeing that my program actually works. I had some guys early on that lost a heap of weight, and the coaching calls, they all worked. So it was good to, that was given a tick. Yep, the system works. Also, learning new skills has been fantastic. I've recently palmed off the video editing to someone else to try and free up some time. But just learning a new skill was really nice to do. What else?
The one thing I noticed was, from knowing you back to when we first met too, I've commented again on this, is that your ability in front of the camera, your language and the way that you're delivering your message, that I've said to you a few times, you've obviously gone and spent time and energy learning that.
Yeah, and I was actually going to say that was the next thing that came to mind is sort of becoming more confident behind the camera with talking. Look, there's a lot of, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of takes and retakes and swearing and carry on. But yeah, that's been great to learn that and just get more confident behind a camera.
Yeah, so
and also scripting as well, like having content creation. Like every day you've got to come up, well, not every day, sorry, once a week I come up with like 5 or 6 different sort of content ideas. Whereas I used to sit there beating my head against the wall like, fuck, what's wrong with me? Well, I can't think of anything. This is insane. And now they just come like that. Like, it's just, I can't even write about that. And I think the problem is I would overthink things massively.
Yeah, okay.
Massively. And that would just fuck with my head and it would keep me stuck.
It's a common thing that I hear all the time too, even for our clients, like, what do you do? What content you put out there? But one part is not overthinking it. The second part is your audience, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't know your audience, it's like, I'll just put out a meal plan or a recipe, like whippy fucking do. It's like, who's that actually talking to? So now that you actually know, I see your content's all relevant to your audience, right?
Yeah, and you would have seen that it's kind of been refined over the duration that we've been doing it. Things I really picked up on, and my wife picked up on, she's good at this, is like, it's got to be punchy, it's got to be sweet. People have very short limited time. You're buying their time basically. And so you got 90 seconds for a reel, but really most people's engagement and attention's only like 30 seconds. You just got to be bang, 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 bang. You can't waffle on and tell your fucking life story.
Yeah, and those days are gone.
It's
fucking, I put out some content and go, that's fucking good stuff. Even if it's only 60 seconds, average watch 15. It's like,
exactly.
It's like unless I'm doing something crazy, and that's the problem, right? It's like people are going more and more crazy just to try to keep someone's attention. It's like nuts.
Yeah.
Any, I guess that classic. Any final advice? Any things that you, I guess, would recommend anybody who's looking to go online?
Well, number one would be get a coach who has experience, right? So I don't think anyone would succeed if they try and do it on their own. So, someone like yourself would be perfect. You've done it and you've got a tried and tested system. That would be my first bit of advice. Second bit of advice would be put some planning into it. So really have a good hard think about your target market. What are their pains? Do a bit of market research. We did this. We did some Google surveys and we kind of put them out there, maybe 1,000 or something, and we found out what sort of language people use, what their pains were, that sort of stuff. So you know what language to use in your marketing.
So you actually, sorry to interrupt, because there's one thing I recommended a little while ago. You actually did a Google survey. You put them out there to get some feedback.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, very smart.
Yeah. What else? I think just be prepared for knockbacks and failures, but just be prepared to get back up as well, because a lot of people are trying their hand at this at the moment, and it's extremely tough. But if you keep getting back up and you keep refining your system and keep learning from your failures, you'll get there in the end. And that mindset's the only thing that's kept me going. If I didn't have that mindset, there's been so many, even recently, man, there's been so many times I've wanted to throw the towel in and think, fuck this. I'll just go back to face. I can earn good money. I'll go build a team of trainers again. Yeah. It's always there in the back of your head, right?
Yeah.
When you're building something, you haven't reached that level yet.
It's so important. I reckon all the other stuff, like have good systems, have good data, do the planning, get some help. But like I say to people that we will go, if you don't have that resilience and all the things you just mentioned, best coach in the world is not going to help you.
Exactly.
Because if as soon as it gets hard, you throw the towel in, it's like we're going to be having pretty unpleasant conversations real fast.
100%. And the thing you just mentioned then, which would be the third thing I'd say that you look at, is having good systems.
Yeah.
You want to create as little friction as possible between you and the client, like their onboarding, the way you deliver the program, the way you deliver your coaching calls, your sales process, whatever that may be, has to be as less friction as possible.
Yeah, because I have seen where people accidentally take off and they've got nothing in the background and they just kill all the leads, because something went viral, and they just go, and people go, oh, I need more leads. I go, yeah, look, let me show me your system, your back end. So when you get a lead or inquiry, what happens? Like nothing.
Yep.
I go, so you get 30 leads tomorrow. What are you gonna do with them? Oh, just have them on my phone. Oh, great. Great system.
Yeah,
they'll be impressed.
Yeah. Well, Instagram is actually great for this now. Like you can actually track all your leads. And have you used it before for that?
Yeah. It's the data and the information inside. It's incredible. Like even the auto messaging, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic, mate. Well, look, I really appreciate your time and energy coming on here. You're not only just about the online side of things, but mate, absolute wealth of knowledge and experience in the industry.
Thank you, mate.
Pretty rare to get someone who's 20 years going around. If someone wants to check out, I guess your stuff and just see you as a trainer, and best place.
Instagram would be the best place.
But,
it's a Brooks Performance. I think it's Brooks_performance. If you do a search for it. It's just a picture of me with an orange background.
Yeah. So, doing an amazing job. And again, I guess you've heard straight, straight from Rhys what it's taken just to get to where you are now of the online space. But
Yeah.
I mean, a wealth of knowledge. So, mate, again, appreciate it. Thanks very much, mate.
Thank you, Jace.
Mate, I'll have to get a workout at that amazing facility next time I'm in Sydney because I've been dying to.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Love to see you.
All right, brother. See you,
All
mate.
right, take care, mate. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.